couple of hours ago, Capcom announced the new pricing for Capcom Cup 12, and if you guys can remember, a couple of months ago, this was a big deal. I'm just making this video off the cuff. I just finished work. I didn't have too much time to prepare this, so I don't have a script or anything. I'm just going to tell you what happened and also my thoughts on the whole PPV, pay-per-view, Capcom Cup 12 situation here. So if you guys remember, about 4 months back, Capcom announced the pricing for Capcom Cup 12. Now, this is both in-person and viewing. Now, in person, nobody really cared about the pricing because obviously they have to rent a big famous venue in Japan. People weren't really mad about this. The thing that pissed everybody off was charging PPV, pay-per-view, for the actual online viewing experience for the live stream. And if you guys remember, the initial price for both Capcom Cup 12 and Street Fighter League World Finals was 6,000 yen, and for my American audience, 6,000 yen is about $40 right now. So people were losing their mind because it was expensive. Like, I can't believe you're charging for this. We're going to pay just to watch ads and 15 minutes of people in empty chairs kind of thing. It was pretty bad. And it wasn't just the North American or like foreign audience. Even the people here, the fans in Japan, were kind of complaining about it. They were like, is this really a good idea? Is this something we should really be supporting as a community? People also brought up the fact that this was just one single price and didn't take regional pricing into consideration, because while this is $40 American, this is a lot more money for people in like South American countries, and there are a lot of strong South American players in Capcom Cup, so that's a lot of money just to watch and support their own local champions. So people were going crazy about this, and then Capcom eventually made a tweet saying, okay, we got it, we heard you guys, we're going to rethink of the whole thing, and we're going to make an announcement. But they never said when they were going to make an announcement. Actually, no, they did. They said they were going to do it at like the end of October, the beginning of November, if memory serves me right. I couldn't find that tweet, but that's what they said, and they never really said anything, and it was just kind of business as usual, radio silence from Capcom marketing as a whole. But then today at about 4 p.m. Japanese Standard Time, we finally got an update, and there are a couple of tweets. Here's the most important one. So, first of all, you can watch Capcom Cup 12 for free, even on the finals day, in the Battle Hub. So if you remember last week or 2 weeks ago, they did a test stream where you could go to the Battle Hub on, there's the big screen. Well, they did a test live stream through there. So now you're going to be able to watch this on the Battle Hub. And excuse me because I couldn't find the English tweet. I only saw the Japanese one. I live in Japan, so this is the stuff that usually hits my screen first. And there are a couple of special things to know about this. So the 14th and the 15th, this is Capcom Cup Finals, and the next one is Street Fighter League World Champions. So they're 2 separate days. And with this, it says you can watch it in real time, but there are a couple of limitations. First, there's going to be no commentary on the Battle Hub stream. So even though you can watch it for free, you can hear what's happening with the sound and everything, but you can't hear the commentators. And then also there's going to be a person limit. Of course, there are only so many Battle Hubs. Once they all become full, it's first come, first serve. So if you don't get in there, you're not going to be able to watch it. Also, a couple of things it also says here that's really important. It says there could be some drop. It might not be a perfect experience. It says live stream trial. That means they're not saying they're completely 100% providing it. It's just a trial. It's kind of like, we're going to give it a shot. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So there might be some issues. Also, you can't watch the archive. You can't rewind. It's just a pure like live stream feed through the big Battle Hub screen. So obviously there's some little trade-offs you got to take for getting the live experience, but as long as you are okay with maybe not being able to watch everything and maybe not catching it at its best, you do still get to watch it for free. All right, next slide. So we're going on to the big one here. This is the revised pricing, and this is with tax and like any website fees that go on, some additional fees. They went from 4,000 yen or 6,000 yen for the whole Saturday and Sunday Capcom Cup World Championships to 1,500 yen. Now, 1,500 yen is about $10, something like that, American. Yeah, $9.79, and that's if you want to watch both days. If you want to watch both Capcom Cup 12 on the 14th and Street Fighter League World Cup on the 15th. But if you only want to watch one, you can buy a single day ticket online for the pay-per-view for 900 yen. And if I just whip this up here, slightly under half the price of that, $5.87. Let's round it up to say $6. So it's about $6 American to watch just the finals day, Saturday or Sunday of this event. Now, it's still pay-per-view, and I think this is still going to make a lot of people not interested in watching. But before I give my opinion on this, you can pause the video. Let me know what you think in the comment section here. I want to know, is a $10 or maybe $6 fee just for Capcom Cup 12 still too much for you, or do you think this is a reasonable price to pay? So for me, I think they really screwed up by making it such an exorbitant price in the beginning. There was all that discourse between the dev team and the marketing team having not had any consideration. They didn't talk to each other. The marketing team kind of set the price. I think they put themselves in a really bad position by charging that initial 4,000 yen, whatever, $20, $30 American price tag in the beginning. And they put themselves in a position where they lost a lot of good faith with the community. And for me, as someone who lives and works in Japan, I know that once a company kind of makes an announcement and decides on a price for something, especially a big company like Capcom, those decisions are usually set in stone and things don't really change. So I'm actually surprised that they went from about 4,000 or 6,000 yen to 1,500. That is a huge drop off. And I'm basing this off nothing. That's just my gut feeling. But I bet the dev team really, really like stepped up to battle for this price. Again, it's still not free, but I mean, $6 American compared to like 40 or whatever it was before. That's a huge difference. And I think this is much easier to swallow. The other issue that we have to consider is, esports, they've been kind of on the decline, not in terms of like necessarily viewership, perhaps, although I'm not too well versed in that, but in terms of like revenue for the companies and how profitable they've been doing or how profitable they've been. There's been a huge issue with several different games, like several different scenes going on, and everyone's kind of, sweating right now when it comes to money. So on one hand, while I understand that it sucks that Capcom has to charge for this, I do kind of feel a little like I get it that you have to charge for this kind of experience. My biggest issue with charging with this is I just didn't like the fact that they were charging money and they didn't say if they're going to improve the quality of the stream. If I pay 900 yen or 1,500 yen and it's a much better viewer experience than it has been the previous years, if there are no ads, if there's always fun stuff going on, if they make like interviews with the players to play in between matches, like good, interesting content that I can watch and I feel like I paid to get something extra for, then I don't have so much of an issue with it. And I think everybody would have been a little bit happier too had they been more clear about what kind of service they're going to provide with their new pay-per-view stream. But if it's just pay extra money that for something, the exact same experience that used to be free but now isn't free, I don't know, I think that's a tough sell. Not as tough as a sell at this current new price, but at the original price, what they had before, that's a tough sell. And I think it was going to turn a lot of people off. And while it's still not a perfect situation, I think this is a step in the right direction. And me personally, I will be buying this. I'm going to be watching. This is a price that I'm totally okay with. I mean, I'm a grown-ass man. This isn't going to make or break my bank account, you know what I mean? So this is fine for me. I like Street Fighter 6. I like watching the people play. I enjoy the Japanese streams. I like Aru and Hamako. I think they're great commentators. And I think it's going to be fun to watch. And I'm also interested in seeing Street Fighter League. So this is fine for me. And before we go, there's one more thing that I forgot to mention. So in terms of co-streaming, you're allowed to co-stream everything up until Finals Day. So I think there are 3 days before this. Don't quote me on that. I don't remember exactly. But there are a few days of like preliminary pools and things like that. You can stream that live on your YouTube channel. You can watch your favorite content creator, restream that, and you can watch it there. But when it comes to finals days, then you're not allowed to restream, and it has to be watched just on this like official Capcom pay-per-view site. So that's one thing you have to keep in mind, which I think isn't too bad all considered. Again, it's not a great situation, but better than before because they're being a little bit clear. I just wish they had been a lot more like lower on the price right off the rip with all this and clear on their whole intentions before they even announced this. I mean, I think in Japan it's kind of okay to announce things in pieces. People don't really get so angry about things here to the extent that it happens in other countries. And I'm not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just saying that's how it is. But I think in other countries, everyone kind of loses their minds, and rightfully so. Again, I'm not looking down. I'm not saying it's right or it's wrong. I'm just saying that's what happens. And, I think the way they announced this, they couldn't have announced this in a worse way. But we are kind of moving on to somewhere better, I think, and we'll see what happens in terms of viewership and everything. And I hope this stream is really good with no ads. If people pay for this, I'm going to end on this note. If people pay for this and it's a really crappy stream experience with like tons of ads and all that kind of stuff, they're cooked. That's it. They're going to lose so much good faith with the community, and it's going to be really, really difficult to walk back from that. I think Capcom's got to be real careful with how they go about this. It has to be a damn good stream. Oh yeah, and also you get a special Rashid color. Woohoo, if you pay for this. I'm sure there's like 5 people in the world who are flipping their shit and really happy about this. But anyways, guys, that's it for me. Just a quick recap on the recent news. I want to get this out as quick as possible. If you like my content, don't forget, hit the like and subscribe button, and let me know in the comments what you think, what your opinions are. I want to know how you guys feel. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.